As I walk up the stairs into the Cessna Caravan plane, I can feel my heart beating and my breathing becoming heavy. It took everything in me to resist the urge to turn around and sprint back to the car. As the plane rose into the air, I thought to myself, am I going to die today?
I'm Pamela Portnoy.
I'm Alexa Marie Anderson.
And no one's okay. There it is. Alexa.
Yes.
What did we do?
We went skydiving.
God, why?
I don't know. You tell me. It was your idea.
Well, we were thinking about tackling a fear episode.
I'm kidding, but I'm not kidding.
Honestly, I'm afraid of heights. So when we were like,
yeah.
oh, fear episode, let's do something to lean into it. Skydiving's the first thing that came to mind because that is like my ultimate fear.
Yeah, and your fear of heights was something that you neglected to tell me until we're driving to go skydiving.
How much did I freak you out on a scale of 1 to 10?
Probably a 10, because I was like, okay, this is Pam's idea. Like, she's got my back. Like, we're gonna go. She's probably not as afraid as I am. And then you're like, yeah, I'm super afraid of heights. Like, kind of get scared going down escalators. And I'm like, great.
This is a true story, honestly. I can't go down escalators without holding both handrails or holding on to like a different person, like another person. I just get this like sick feeling in my stomach. I can't do it. And so sometimes like if I'm alone, I'll be like stumbling at the top looking so stupid. So I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Let's go skydiving. Maybe this will cure it. But did it? Nope.
Well, you made it.
I made it. But on the way there, I was like not so sure because we were dipping down on the 101 from, where was it? From Westlake into like Camarillo.
Mm-hmm.
There's a dip in the freeway, and you saw me recline my chair.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that really. I was like, great. This
Like,
is not going. I was like, this isn't happening. I was like, this isn't happening at this point.
That's how bad the fear is. So you're like, who am I stuck with?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I was like, we're going down. This is not happening. I honestly, it went through my head a lot. I was like, what if we don't do this?
I had no doubt in my
know.
mind that we would do it. I was not going to allow us to chicken out.
I didn't want to either, but I was like, if you would have chickened out, I definitely would have. For sure.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised that you decided to tag along with me. I was like, let's do this. And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
I could tell you were getting more nervous as the day was approaching.
I didn't really think about it all too much, honestly. You asked me and I was like, you know what? That's probably on the bucket list. Might as well do it. I didn't really put a lot of thought into it when you first asked me. I'm that person that's normally just like, yeah, I'm down. Sure.
You are one of the downest people I have ever met in my life.
I don't know if that's like a good thing or not.
So many people ask me, they're like, how is Alexa like just okay with this? Why is she following you?
I don't know. I really don't know. I was like, okay, let's do it.
But I remember I got a text from you at like 7 a.m. one day. Like clearly you were just, it was the first thing you thought of in the morning. And you're like, is this place certified by the Parachuting Association?
Well, no, that was more my mom. I was telling my mom about it. And she was like, wait a second. She was like, are they certified? She like probably did some research after I told her because she was probably like losing her mind. Not to mention, we went skydiving on her birthday.
Oh,
poor mom.
Oh, God. Well, nothing bad happened, so...
No, it's all good. I mean, clearly, here we are.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
We're alive.
Amazing.
So how did we start the day, Alexa?
Oh, God. Okay, so this is not my choice, but Pam wanted to get there super early and check everything out, which seems like a good plan.
I like to be prepared.
Right.
I'd like to know everything that's going on.
That seems like a great plan. And honestly, I usually am like that too. I like to know what's going on. But honestly, being there so early and waiting around, and we actually saw some people parachuting their way down
which
when
we
were driving
loved. You were hating it.
I was like, oh my, it was just too many hours to wait. It was making me so anxious because like for me, I overthink literally everything. So I was just thinking of every possible situation that could happen and trying to figure out how it was going to go, but that's not possible. So I was just making myself super anxious.
I loved seeing how it would work, from how high they were parachuting, how they were landing, where they were landing. I found everything to be like super helpful for easing my fear and anxiety.
I liked seeing it, but then after, like, the thing was, we saw it driving in, and then we still had like 4 hours to wait. So like, here's the thing, like, if we would have seen it happen and then like gone in and done it, I think I would have been better. But the fact that we saw it happen and then had 4 hours to wait, I was like, oh God, like, okay, they were parachuting down, like how high up was it? I'm like calculating in my brain. Remember I was looking up pictures at the diner? We ate at this diner.
Oh my God. We went to the American Host restaurant for breakfast. Alexa like had no
I was
breakfast.
like, I can't eat. And she was like, you have to eat something. So I ate like hash browns.
I had like a massive breakfast and she had nothing.
Peed 7 times, had like 3 bites of hash browns.
I was concerned Alexa was passing away before my very eyes. She started looking up these pictures
that was dumb
on Google
of
what does 13,000 feet look like?
That was just
and she's
not
like,
good.
oh, this does not look good at all. I'm like, why are you
like,
looking
Pam,
at
look
these
at this.
pictures? It's just making it worse. It's just making it worse.
Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. I shouldn't have done that.
No, but we had a lovely, terrifying. We were just like looking at each other the majority of the breakfast, not saying anything. I remember that.
Yeah, I was way in my head.
And just saying why a lot. Why?
Like, what are we doing?
Looking at the clock and saying why. Why?
I remember when we were sitting in your car, like really like just about to go in and we were waiting there for a couple minutes. I was losing it. I was like absolutely losing it. Like, I wanted to go in. I think I asked you like multiple times. I was like, I think we should go in now. And you were like, no, we still have some time. I'm like, no.
The group before us just went in.
Yeah, I was like, no, I think we should go in now. And you're like, no, let's wait. I was like losing it.
It was an hour before we were supposed to start.
But at least we could have like gone in and like signed the waiver that took us 3 hours.
Oh my God, 100% it took us 3 hours. We get there and we have to like look over this training video, not a training video, but like a disclaimer video with all the liability information. And
it was terrifying.
Honestly terrifying. They need to update it maybe a little bit, make it a little more user friendly, because it was honestly very scary to watch. And so it was just Alexa and I in this room it's a 15-minute video, and then they give us this stack of just death paperwork that we had to fill out.
It was awful. Honestly, as we started reading through it, I like was looking over at you and like I saw that you were actually initialing things, because like honestly, I thought that was going to be the moment where we were going to be like, no, that's okay. I think we're good.
I already made the decision to do it, and I knew that the paperwork would be scary, but reading through it,
I didn't prepare myself for the paperwork. Reading through that was, I mean...
How much did you read of it, Alexa?
Okay, so to be honest with you, I read it, but like I wasn't reading it as thoroughly as you were, because I knew if I did, I would give myself a panic attack. So I kind of like, just kind of briefly read through things, and I kept looking over at you, and I was like, is she initialing? Okay, guess we're doing this. I guess I'm initialing this too.
Honestly, like, your trust in me is completely misguided.
I don't know. I was like, seeing that you were like doing it and initialing it was like very comforting. So I'm like, okay, I guess it's fine. Like, Pam's initialing and signing, so I guess it's great. Like,
they were using words like serious injury, grievous. What's the word?
Gross negligence. That was terrifying. I think I read that part and I was like, oh no, I shouldn't read any more of this.
Like, your family, your loved ones, no one associated with you can ever come after this company ever, even if there's gross negligence.
Which apparently you actually still could sue them. I heard through the grapevine.
But signing this paperwork,
I know,
is just
terrifying.
I felt like such a moron. I was like, why am I doing this? I already made this decision. Why am I just going through the motions just because I made some sort of stupid decision?
Hands down, I think that was the most terrifying part was the training video and the paperwork.
Especially because we watched it 3 times.
Which was way more than I think most people watch it, because we opened the door. We were the only 2 in the room, mind you. And then we opened the door and there was like a line of people
like
outside the
10
door.
people like waiting for us to finish being
I don't think
so
people
thorough.
usually take that long.
No, definitely not.
So
they're like, all right, they're out, everyone.
I think people probably watched the training video once. I bet you there's a lot of people go through there and do not look over that paperwork.
I bet they start signing the paperwork while the video is playing.
Oh yeah, we didn't do that. We watched the video and then we did the paperwork. We took our time.
We took our time, but I felt informed. Terrified, but informed.
I don't know what I felt. It was a lot.
And then we got suited up.
That was my favorite part.
The putting the clothes on.
I like putting the bright yellow banana suits.
Which was cute. Optional.
Yeah, some people didn't wear one, and I was like, why would I fly out of a plane in my normal clothes? Like, that seems not correct. This doesn't feel right.
If I'm doing like this activity that I don't do every day, I better have a uniform.
Right, exactly. I need an outfit. I can't just
look
fly
like
through the air.
Ranger.
Yeah, I can't just fly through the air in like yoga pants and a sweatshirt. I need to have my suit, my banana suit.
Everything needs to be kept inside.
Oh God,
it's just secured. We looked like flying bananas.
We were cute. I liked them.
I liked it too. We had goggles and banana suits.
Yeah, they were cute.
Yeah, and then we met our instructors.
Oh yeah, two very different people,
mm-hmm.
but paired with we were paired with the right person for sure.
Oh yeah, my guy kept fucking with me so bad.
Yeah, I was not in the mood. Like, usually I'm like, I'm good to be like chummy, but like that was just not the time. Like, I was like, I need someone that's gonna like secure me and make sure I'm not gonna die today.
I just like really respond well to
yeah,
humor.
No, that's
in
good.
Terrible circumstances.
I usually do, not in this type of circumstance. Jack was very kind. Shout out.
Very compassionate.
Very compassionate, very kind. So when I'm anxious, I ask like a ton of questions. I probably asked him what day it was. Like, I just like one after
Who am
the
I?
Who am I? Where am I? What day is it?
What's this all about?
What's happening? Like, I asked him so many questions. At one point we were in the plane and I turned around and I was like, is it okay if I close my eyes? And he's like, yeah, it's totally fine. Like I just couldn't compute anything.
Keep in mind, like, we jumped tandem, so like really Alexa didn't have to do anything. Like, these guys are trained for like, if we pass out, they like successfully complete the jump.
I know.
And she's like, can I close my eyes?
I just wanted to do everything that I could to like, I don't know. I took too much responsibility probably. I was like, I need to know what's happening and when the chute is pulled and like all of that stuff.
Listen, I can't give you shit because honestly, it's such a scary thing to do, and I don't necessarily believe that there's any like wrong response to being that afraid of something.
Yeah, we both had very different responses to it, but neither of them were incorrect.
I really got along with John. Shout out to John, who's my instructor. Like, he was like tugging at my like harness, and he's like, well, this is wrong, and this is this is fine. This rubber band will hold you together. Like,
oh yeah, I was there when he said that. I like was so serious. I was like, I don't have a rubber band on mine. I
was just like, where's my rubber band?
So stressed.
This plane, oh my God, this plane was so tiny, and it was like, how many jumpers? Like 8 jumpers.
It was like
with
8 of us.
instructors.
We were in there like sardines. It was a lot. It was very overwhelming.
And we were in there like sitting with our instructors, and we get up above the clouds in this tiny plane, and it just felt all wrong because, you know, in commercial airlines they like have a video that you watch, and you have to.
I mean, we don't even have seatbelts.
No seatbelts.
Yeah.
Like, well,
we're like
we're falling out of
there.
this
I
anyway.
was like on Jack's lap, like legitimately.
You have to, because they have to strap you into their harness while you're sitting on their lap. And we're above the clouds, and John's like, "Oh, we're halfway there." I was like, halfway there, and we're above the clouds. Only? Is this an actual joke? I'm like, I
started like at that point I was like, I think I need a paper bag to breathe. Like I was like, I really need to pull myself together.
It was honestly terrifying. And finally we get up there. It was honestly too high. And I had decided to just follow through on this no matter what, and just kind of like relinquish all power
and control, which is the hardest part,
and
ever.
Control to just the situation. But I remember thinking, well, what would I do if I did want to like just opt out of this?
I don't think you have a choice. Work? I don't think you have a choice.
You do. In the video, they're like, yeah, you could say no, but
they tell you have a choice. But like,
the
when
vibe
you get
up there?
to when you get to where you're supposed to jump, it's just go.
Honestly,
go.
I felt very like, no one said anything to me, and I know I could say no, but I felt like the vibe was peer pressure, especially because I was at the front of the plane.
Yeah, you jumped second?
I jumped second out of the tandem jumpers.
I was second
and then there
to
was a
last.
single diver before
Before
us. And I just felt like if I chicken out in front of everyone else on this plane, this is not going to bode well. Like, this is just...
Oh, certainly not.
No one's going to be happy. So I was just like, I just need to give up control and just, like, be okay with, you know, the prospect of
death,
I
remember
which I tricked my brain.
I didn't think of that. For me, I had to be like, okay, it is what it is. You just got to give up control. And this guy knows what he's doing. Like, let it happen. Like, is what it is. I didn't really think, I don't think I could think about the fact that we could die at that point because I probably would have had a full-on panic attack.
Oh my God, it was all I was thinking about.
Yeah, I didn't think about that, thank God. I just thought about, like, executing everything properly. I was like, because they show you how to do it. You have to put your head back. You have to, like, put your legs back, like, tilt your pelvis forward. I was like, okay, I know what I need to do. I just need to do it. Like, I was, like, very... I was very methodical about it. I was like, okay, I'm ready. Like,
I did not think once about what I was supposed to do. I was just trying to trick my brain into being okay with something that was so not normal.
So not normal.
Not normal. My friend Sean, shout out to Sean.
Yay,
our friend Sean, was like, okay, you shouldn't feel the stomach drop feeling because I hear you get buffeted by, like, a gust of air.
Which, okay, I will say I felt that way. We had different experiences. I'm not making it up. I'm not making this up. I didn't feel like any sudden drop at all. Like, obviously I knew I was falling out of a plane, but I didn't feel like free, like the free falling feeling I didn't really feel, I guess. Or maybe it just felt different than I thought it would.
Oh my God, I felt it so much. And I think I was disappointed the second that I saw the single diver.
Mm-hmm.
He looked at us and he's like, see you later. And he, like, went out the plane and he dropped like a stone. And I was like, oh, there's no cushion of air.
And you do like and what I was totally unaware of too, like, you do like a tumbly out of the plane.
A tumbly?
A tumbly, that's what I'm going to call it. Like, because you don't think about that. Like, when you see people skydiving, you just see them, like, flying, like, you know, like, on their stomachs. But, like...
Which you get to.
Which you do, but the initial drop, you are, like, legitimately tumbling out of the plane. It's very odd. It's very odd.
Like, it happened so quickly. That guy went, and then the next two went, and they dropped, like,
there was no
too.
time. There was no time in between people jumping. It was just, like, go, go, go.
Right as the second people jumped out and dropped, no air cushion. There was no cushion. John's, like, starting to waddle with me on his lap. We're, like, crab walking to the...
I think I, like, literally blocked that part out because as soon as Jack started to move forward, I was like, okay, I'm out. Alexa's left the building, brain
Alexa
off.
was no longer in her body.
I was not in my body. I left my body. I had to. That was my way of surviving.
That's unbelievable. I remember exactly how it felt, and we went, like, headfirst down out of the plane through the clouds, and I was like, oh, definitely no cushion.
Maybe it's because you went, like,
falling
head first.
to my death.
Maybe it's because you guys rolled head, like, straight forward. Like, we kind of tilted. We, like, tumbled to the side.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why it felt different, because we kind of, you know, it wasn't, like, a straightforward somersault.
It was honestly...
Because we sat...
we should describe how it
we
felt.
should say we were sitting. We didn't, like, there was no jumping out. Like, it was like you sit on the edge and then kind of roll out.
Yeah, and I had no choice in the matter. I was not in control of when that was happening. Like, we crab walked up and he just went and I was just attached.
Yep.
I was along for the ride.
The free fall was pretty amazing, though. Like, you can't describe it. It's hard to...
We did the 13,000 feet option, which gave us a minute of free fall, which is 2 miles of falling. No shoot. And it's so fast. The amount of air.
It's incredible. Like, I would have never, like, that's just, I nothing like it. And there's so much air that it's hard to breathe. So actually, it's interesting. Before we jumped, my instructor was like, "So when we get to free falling, he's like, if you feel like you can't breathe, just keep screaming." And I'm so happy.
I didn't need to be told that.
You didn't need to be told to scream. I'm just very like I'm just grit and bear it kind of person. So I don't my normal reaction isn't to scream or like release any kind of sound.
Let me tell you about Alexa's reaction in this situation. Alexa fainted.
I did not.
Alexa 100% fainted.
Fine, we can say it looks like I fainted, guys, but I kid you not. I honestly would admit to it. If I fainted, I would be like, guys, I fainted. But it straight up looks like I fainted.
There's nothing wrong with fainting, Alexa.
I know there's nothing wrong with it. I literally would tell you if I did. I literally would tell you. But the thing is, it does look like I did. The video, I look like I played dead, legitimately. But apparently that's how I
was
interpret.
Completely relaxed.
I was like it was like I went to sleep. Like I just like leaned my head back and I was like, okay, it's time to go. Like I that was my response to just like.
But like even when you're falling, like don't you think like your body would have some sort of like reaction, like your face would like start screaming because for a good few seconds there was nothing going on.
But I was doing the stuff with my head and my feet like I was supposed to, so I did not faint. Because if I would have fainted, I would have been dead weight.
Did you just throw shade?
Yes, I did, because Pamela over here, that she's not letting you know, is that she was swimming. She was kicking her legs as she came out of the plane. Okay, I executed things beautifully, which Jack actually told me when we landed.
Listen, I'm not gonna follow convention as I'm falling to my death. I'm gonna try to run my way out of it.
I was just like, play dead. That's how you survive.
Like, maybe if I don't move.
Like, well, I'm just accepting my fate.
I'm just gonna look dead anyway.
Just gonna look dead anyway.
It'll start the process.
Yep, just start the process now. It's fine. God. But when we got to the, after the tumbly and we're free falling on our stomachs, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. There was a lot of air. I had to do a lot of screaming so I could breathe, because really if you don't scream or open your mouth, like you will feel like you're suffocating.
I was screaming, my mouth was open most of the free fall, but then I realized like, wow, they're filming me. I must look so stupid. So I started smiling, which looked even worse because it like went up to my gums.
I wasn't even thinking about the filming. I was like the air that's coming at my face is so ridiculous.
That's what she said.
Great.
Very good.
Wonderful.
Yeah. It's a lot.
I thought my goggles were going to fly off.
Me too.
And then I was almost going to, like, I don't know why. I was afraid to do anything. So, like, I almost went to go fix them. And then I was like, I don't know if that's a good idea. Like, I was that stressed. I was like, I'll just keep it. It'll be fine.
We talked to our instructors after, and, like, they're like, they've had people, like, throw up on them.
Oh,
They've had people pass out. They've had so these guys, like,
they
wouldn't
deal with
matter
everything.
if we would, like, move our fins.
I know. I just wanted to do it right. It's very
a perfectionist over here.
I know. It's not always best, but yeah.
What caught me by surprise is I totally forgot that the parachute thing needed to happen.
Oh, I totally was aware. I mean, I was waiting I was like, I think it's supposed to happen now. And then I like felt him like reach for it and pull it.
I was so overwhelmed with the amount of air and the speed that when you get yanked by the chute, which is like, you're going, I think...
It's pretty jarring.
I forget the velocity that you're going when you're falling. It's like maybe 120 or something. You're going 120 and then you get slowed down to 10 in like 2 seconds. So with that like jolt, I was like, oh, what's happening? And then I'm like, oh, that must be the chute.
Oh, so you didn't even realize it until after? Oh my gosh. Wow, John. I remember when you told me that afterwards, and that was the funniest thing for me.
Honestly, the parachuting was so beautiful because I think I still had, like, obviously the adrenaline from the fall, and then you see this gorgeous view, you see the ocean, you see the mountains,
view is
everything, and you're just overwhelmed by the beauty and the fact that you're alive.
And the fact that you're alive. It's like, wow.
I was like, wow,
I
John,
think I was
so
like, I definitely like remember my body like kind of like my hands were kind of like shaky. Because I was just like, oh my gosh, like that actually happened. What?
I obviously landed before you, and I remember like after I landed and they're like, how was it? I like immediately started looking for you. I was like, where is she? I know she has to like survive this. Like, I hope she's alive.
Oh my God.
And I literally like looked over at him. I'm like, where is she? Because it was like taking a long time.
Yeah, because there was I think there was 3 people or 4 people that jumped in between us because I was the second to last person to jump.
And he just pointed up, like, he was being sassy with me. He was like pointing at me, she's up there, she's coming down.
Yeah, he was like not concerned.
He was not concerned at all. And I was like, and then I saw you like approaching, and you looked so pale. You were green.
Yeah, I
was like, did she die?
I mean, I've definitely played that.
It was you were so pale. I felt
like
so bad for you. Did not look happy.
No, I was actually. I enjoyed the parachuting part.
Did you?
Yes, no, I really did. I will say, like, I have like a little bit of motion sickness. Well, I really can't tell if it was that or those hash browns I ate, honestly, at the diner, because like that day was, needless to say, I had my stomach. I don't know what's happening, but yeah, no, I just like got a little bit of like motion sickness on the way down, so that probably is why I looked pale. But I actually did enjoy it and had a really fun time. I mean, I was asking, me and Jack were like best friends by the end of it. Like I was asking about his kids. Like I was like, what do you do when you don't do this? We were chatting it up.
Do you think you did that because you were legitimately interested in finding out about him, or if that was your way of coping with what just happened to you?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Honestly,
it was a lot.
Information all at once.
It's a lot of information.
It's a lot of information.
Would you do it again?
No. I don't know. It depends on who would want to go. Depends on who would want to go.
Not with you.
I mean, I don't know. I couldn't go with someone who would be like just as stressed as I was the first time I went. I feel like
because then you'd psych yourself out again.
Probably. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I'd psych myself out. It just wouldn't be as enjoyable.
Yeah.
I'd probably go. Because I'm a very, like, if I sign up for something, I'm going to follow through. So no matter what it is, I'm like, okay, well, if I committed, I'm going.
It's happening.
It's happening. I don't really want to do it, but I committed, so I'm going. Can't help it. It's almost like a challenge at that point.
I think that's a really nice quality.
Thanks.
As long as you're not too, like, which I don't think you are, but, like, I was going to say, like, stubborn, even if you're like, oh, you know, I changed my mind, but I'm going to stick to it even though I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, no. If it's like a hard no, I'm like, okay, no, I should change my mind on that. But
yeah, usually, I have a hard time picturing you do something that you don't.
Yeah,
like
if it
doing.
was something like that, like compromised my like morals or like standards of life, I wouldn't obviously do it. Like if I like signed up for something, then I was like, oh no, that's not what I thought it was. I'd be like, okay, bye. But
I've definitely seen you.
Yeah,
definitely
I'm like,
bail in situations. That
I know.
You're like, I'm morally opposed to this.
Yes, exactly. But if it's something that like is supposed to be fun or is like something that's like, because a lot of times you put yourself in uncomfortable situations because it's for growth. You know what I'm saying? Those kind of things, like there'll be things that I do that I'm like, oh, I don't really feel like doing that, but I know that's going to be the best for me. I'm like, okay, well, you committed to it, so you better go.
That's all about growth. You're right. I think that's 100% what that is.
Yeah.
Let's relate this to what we experience in acting. Have you ever had to play a role where you had to be like really frightened?
You know what? I haven't, actually. I haven't. But you know what? I fear I can definitely, I guess how I felt that day, I can relate to my acting because of the overthinking. And we have talked about this, that we're very different about things and how we prepare and all of that stuff. I'm a person where if I practice too much or I overthink it too much, I'm like screwed. Like, because Pam and I will often help each other. Like, we'll Skype or whatever and go over lines. And if it's like me and I'm practicing a scene, I will do it like a couple times to like memorize and work on it. And I'll be like, okay, you know what? I can't, I gotta stop. I gotta like stop. I'm gonna overthink this. And she's like, are you sure? Are you sure you don't want to do it again? I'm like,
you're not wasting my time. Like
Pam,
this
no.
is helping me too. Like, let's keep going. And you're like, no, but no,
I'm
I
like,
can't.
no, I gotta stop. I gotta stop right now because it's not gonna be good. Because it's interesting, like even in acting class, and my acting teacher knows this about me by now, like she knows to record even when I'm practicing. Because a lot of times, like in the past, I had practiced something and she looks at me and she's like, shit, we should have recorded that. She was like, what the heck? And I'm like, I'm sorry. And then I try to recreate it. And like, it just keeps like, the more I do it, it just keeps going downhill because I'm overthinking it. I just have to trust my instincts more and not overthink things because it's a goner if I overthink.
I really need to rehearse as much as possible because I need it to get out of like my brain and into my body.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I can't over rehearse it personally.
Yeah, I know this because I just know to keep repeating. I'm just like, I don't even like ask you. I'm just like, okay, starting from the top. Let's go again. Like I'm just used to you by now. I'm like,
exhausting.
No, it's good. It's good. It's good to do, practice different methods and all of that stuff. But it's just really funny because like I don't even have to ask you. I'm just like, okay, I'll start from this first line again. Here we go.
Oh my God, that's so true.
It's good. It's good.
But it's interesting, like, experiencing something that actually, required that fear was appropriate because I encounter fear all the time, like, in my daily life. And I feel like sometimes it's not necessarily helping me. Like,
oh, yeah.
Fear is apparently, like, supposed to be a tool, that we have to, like, keep ourselves alive.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like there are situations where I'm like, okay, I'm going to be alive regardless, like in audition situations or being on stage. Like, I love being on stage. It's my favorite place to be.
Mm-hmm.
But there are moments where fear can kind of take over. And I'm like, this is not appropriate. This does not belong here whatsoever.
Yeah, it's not serving you at all. Yeah. No, and I think everyone feels that in everyday life. There's a lot of things that hold us back. And most of it has to do with the fear of like even just failing at something. You know what I mean? But ultimately, I feel like fear either A, holds us back or gets in the way of us succeeding.
Yeah. And when you push through, I always find that you have a lot to take from it. You grow a lot more. You have more to draw from as a result. I just think that's interesting.
You learn a lot more.
I think fear is normal, but I feel like when you're trying to create something like this, it almost has no place because you're not going to be yourself or you're like 100% authentic if you're letting something like that get in the way. If you're thinking about what other people are thinking.
Well, it's like, when we talk about being on stage, doing a scene on stage or musical, singing, whatever, the moment you get in your head and you start to watch yourself, you mess up.
Yeah. Death. Then you like really have something to be afraid of.
Oh yeah, because I mean,
it compounds the problem.
Going up during a performance, you might as well just die. You've died.
I swear to you, that happened to me. I was doing a 2-person play a few years ago called Rum and Cookies. I was doing it with my friend Matt, and like this never happens. Like obviously it happened, but like very rare for me. I'll like go up, and I went up for about 45 seconds, and it was because I started watching myself. And he was really trying, I could tell in his face, trying to dig me out of this hole. I just completely went out. But due to the nature of the scene, he couldn't do anything for me. And so I had to figure it out. That's like the worst fear when you're in the moment on stage.
Oh yeah, it's happened to me many times.
But
singing.
I survived. Yeah. I'm alive.
Yeah, it's not life or death.
Mm-mm.
It's definitely not life or death, and that's happened. I mean, I'm sure it's happened to everyone.
100%. It's normal.
Totally normal.
So, do you have any favorite performances when it comes to fear?
Oh yes, Get Out.
Oh my God, that's such a good movie.
Daniel Kaluuya is that okay? So he's first of all fabulous, but I think
all the performances in that movie are stellar.
Everyone's great. But that really, I mean, when you say fear, like, and also not having control because of like him being hypnotized, and he knows, like, because there comes a part in the film, like it happens the first time, and then the second time, like he knows the trigger and he knows it's gonna happen, and like it's called The Sunken Place if you've seen it. He knows, and it's like he can't do anything. He's helpless, like helpless. He can't do anything. That's terrifying, and he does such a good job at conveying that terror and like just the loss of control.
Mm-hmm.
I love that film actually.
It's
very good.
That's a really good one.
What's yours?
Well, there are two that I thought of. Well, there's so many, but like obviously Titanic is kind of epic.
Yeah.
I particularly think of the scene where Jack and Rose are in the hallway and like they're trying to figure out a way. It was after she came to rescue him from the like being tied up to the pole, and they were just trying to figure out a way out. And God, their performance throughout the whole fucking movie are just unbelievable.
Just beautiful, honestly.
Really beautiful.
Yeah.
Really scary. But then for a comedic fear moment, I think of Bill Murray in Ghostbusters when the I forget the name of the ghost, but it's like that big slimy one. He's like eating the room service in the hallway.
Oh yeah.
And Venkman's like, "Come in, Ray." On the walkie-talkie, he's like, "Come in, Ray. He's right here, Ray. He's looking at me." Like he's totally trying to be composed and cool,
be calm
but
about
he
it.
is like absolutely like terrified. So good. I love that. Just trying to be composed through the fear.
Yeah. It's kind of like when we were driving here and I was trying to be composed about telling you that there was a door in your way.
There was a door. Some guy like throws open his door right in front of like a lane where people are just driving at high speed. Like, okay, we're fine.
We made it.
But very calmly and composed. Pam, door.
I don't even think I said your name. I was just like, door.
She pointed too.
Like I knew she didn't see it and I was like, door. And we just, I don't know, it was so funny.
Out of control. Alexa,
Yes.
are you okay?
I'm over this.
What? You don't? What are you over? What's happening?
The okay.
Oh, you don't
No,
want to.
no,
you don't want to analyze anymore. Are you over it?
I'm not over it, but today I'm like,
You have a lot going on.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, so, to talk about fear, actually.
Yeah.
And the fact that I'm not okay.
Yeah.
Or that my car may not be okay.
Well, she stalled on the freeway the other day.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I was driving home from work. And
Oh my God.
I heard
this
that.
is out of control.
I heard that. I was driving home from work. And I'm in the middle lane, naturally, because that's the perfect time for this to happen. My car just completely stalls. And personally, I thought my wheel had locked, obviously, but I think it was just the power steering turning off, and I'm not used to that, so I probably could have turned my wheel. But in the moment, I just was like, oh my God. And I just stopped in the middle lane and put my four ways on. And for a second, I was like, I don't even know what to do. Like, I was like, help. And then naturally,
That's terrifying.
Yeah, naturally, I call my dad because clearly he can help me because he's
From
in
Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh. Yeah, clearly he's gonna help. So I call my dad, and I'm like, I remember I called him, and he answers the phone, and I'm like, okay, don't panic because I'm panicking.
You panicking is not going to help
I was
me.
like, please don't panic. I'm panicking. And I'm like telling him that my car stalled. And he's like, okay. He was like, just call AAA, like all this stuff. Meanwhile, my purse was in the trunk. Never put my purse in the trunk. Never do that. This day, I did. Stupid.
Interesting.
Yeah, couldn't get out of my car. Anyway, so my dad was like trying to give me the number for AAA. And he's talking to me and my dad's a problem solver. He loves to fix things. He's like, he wanted to help and fix and whatever. So he's asking me questions about like how it happened and what he's like, is your car on? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I literally can't. I was like, Dad, I'm panicking. I can't answer any of your questions currently. And this isn't working. He's like, well, can you just turn the car off and turn it back on? I'm like, okay, cool. So I do that. It's like nothing ever happened. Car starts, car turns on.
What lane were you in?
The second from right.
Okay.
Yeah. But it was like nothing ever happened. And then I drove off and went home. I took it in to get checked. They literally can't find anything wrong with it. No, I know. I'm glad like no one hit me or anything and it was fine. But like total panic mode. Like for me, like I get anxious around like I just am, I'm sure no one wants to get into an accident, but I have like a certain anxiety around it. So I was like totally losing it. Alexa was losing her mind. I was gone, left the building. But
she's not okay.
Not okay. Just not okay. But they found nothing wrong with it, which is even more annoying because I'm like, okay, well, guess we'll just wait till it happens again.
It won't happen again.
I don't think it will. I think it was a weird, I don't know. My dad was like, I think it was your keychain on your keys. I don't know. It's a whole conversation I can't even get into right now. But
we're glad you're alive.
Thanks.
Even though you're not okay.
Thanks. Pam, are you okay?
Nope.
That was a strong no.
Never okay. I just got back from Chicago was visiting a friend, and I have the post-trip blues again.
Yeah, you always have. You're always going places.
I've been a jet setter lately. It was such a nice trip. It was so nice to catch up with her, and being with different friends like elicits like different, brings out different sides of you. And I really needed to catch up with her, and it was really, really nice. And we ate some amazing, amazing food and saw the city. And Chicago is honestly one of my favorite places.
I really like Chicago as well.
It's so much fun, and the people are so nice, and it's so beautiful. And now I'm back here with you.
All right. Well, I guess I better go. I'll just leave.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, no. Never okay. It's Tuesday. It feels like Friday, honestly, though. I don't like Tuesdays. Thanks so much for listening. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all the things. If for some reason you want to see more of us, you can follow us on Instagram at NoOne'sOkay.
And a special thanks to Jordan Ross Weinhold, Sean Moore, Jason Crow, Claire Palmer, Jackson Palmer, Tiffany Haymoff, Shane Rings, James Liddell, and our podcast is recorded at Soundworks Studios. We can't wait to meet you!
A throat growl. Yeah. It's been happening the whole time. I've been trying to suppress it. It's so bad.
I don't even know what that is. That happens to me all the time too, and I'm like, hello?
What's happening? Oh my god, this is so gross. Whatever's going on in her throat. It's actually bad. There it goes again. I'm gonna have some more wine. Hold on.
Go for it.